At 15 years old, I thought I was chasing lap times, podiums, and eventually a professional racing career. And to be fair, I was obsessed because I would wake up before school to train, spend hours on simulators, learn vehicle dynamics, etc. And I eventually got into entrepreneurship to finance the journey as well. And if you had asked me why did I take it so seriously back then, I would have probably told you that it's because one day it won't be a game. But years later, I realized that the only thing that I loved was not just speed, it was truth. Because racing is one of the few places left where reality talks back immediately. From 100 kilometers per hour and beyond, reality does not freaking care about you and slaps you in the face. And now, this video is a story on how racing accidentally taught me the secret lesson that changed my life. Hopefully, it changes yours without my mistakes because the same huge secret appears in business, learning, communication, relationships, decision making, and even purpose itself. If you don't know who I am, I'm Samuel, and I am on a mission of helping people convert their and other people's thoughts into action with the least friction and apply to sales and personal growth because I'm doing sales, business communication related stuff, and it constantly gives me insights that then I convert into videos like this one. So, and any video about some cars racing or something that you might be seeing right now, they are from mine, actually driving. So without further ado, let's begin. So first of all, racing feels in a very specific way. There is too little time in racing to explain yourself, and that is the core of it. It's pure input and consequence. You turn in, the car responds immediately, it insists or it doesn't, line is correct or it isn't, speed during the corner is ideal or it isn't, right? And that is the first shock because in normal life there's always a buffer, like missing a deadline and still talk your way through it, making a bad decision and reinterpreting it later, or failing and still maintaining a story where you didn't really fail. Racing that layer disappears and your ego is instantly exposed. So if you brake too late, you go wide. If you correct too late, you spin. Or if you hesitate, you lose time instantly. The system does not store any intention or personality. It only records your action and feeds it back to you immediately. Now, this changed me because this creates a very specific mental state where there is no narrative, excuses, or identity. And to an intelligent, limited system like me and you, and personally, in that time with insecurities, bad communication, morals, addictions, physical fitness, I was fat, really fat, and sleep at that time, 3 years ago, it changes everything. So only action, feedback, alignment, and action again until complete, sustainable precision and performance is left as the priority. So for example, in fitness, it's an area of my life. I get disciplined because I was fat, insecure, and I started treating my body the same way I did with racing, which was through performance variables, sleep, energy, reaction time, focus. Because I like to think also in spreadsheets, I really use them a lot. And if something in my life failed, I could trace it back, like poor sleep, habits, meaning, etc. Eventually, fitness showed that I was capable of many things in a tangible way. I had looked at my progress, how I could not do any kind of push-up, and recently I ran like a half marathon, and I think I am in pretty good shape. Now, for example, for learning, I used to consume passively, but the same testing mechanism in racing forced me to force everything I consume to change my brain's behavior in some way. And eventually I encountered information that opened my limiting beliefs and made me question, well, tons of stuff. Now, a third area would be discipline overall, because this thing is essentially constrained, just like in racing, where you either repeat the behavior consistently or you lose time. Repetition became the only way forward, and I found it meaningful because it was genuinely changing my self-worth and even how others saw me. Eventually, I shifted my meaning in life from me to others because I was aware of a thing or two about how reality works, and I wanted to contribute to other people's possibility of growing, to discover, explore, and that stuff, and reality the must. it still makes me love any hardship I go through because I see it as a training. And I think the biggest habit that I have as of yet is that I fail and my legs are already moving to test the next thing. I think I really got it also because of racing, because you fail, of course, well, you go wide. That will be sort of failing. For example, when you turn and you don't hit the perfect curve and all that stuff, you still have to go. I mean, you can't just give up. If you do give up, if you have your ego, as I said, then you might really freaking die if you just try to just break yourself. And of course, there is a constant demand for you to act based on what reality says. If you don't, then you crash. You can't decide if you're at 200 kilometers per hour to suddenly go left because you want it. You will die. And I think this pretty much connects to a fourth area, which will be systems. And it is that racing works exactly like a system where you isolate variables. For example, braking point, turn in timing, brake pressure, entry speed, etc. And then you test a way of maximizing those variables, then receive feedback, then adjust, and then repeat. By the way, I talk in depth about systems development in a video that I'm going to be flagging at the end of this video. No worries, it's no internet incomplete BS. This is actual easy, serious science. Make sure to watch it after this video or save it to watch it later. It genuinely changed my life and it will help you turn business and life chaos into sustainable results. Especially in business where sometimes your efforts sort of reset every time and you have to start from scratch. Believe me, I have lived it. So then anyway, eventually, because racing became a direction, many other things like finance, business, and communication came across the way as things to optimize as well. Now, how does all of this change your life? Well, firstly, the brain often assumes that no feedback is given in most life situations because it is often delayed, indirect, or hidden inside other variables. So from here, people love to create stories to predict what happens before even getting feedback. It makes the verdict. This is horrible because therefore, and assumptions can lead to errors, and errors taken as truths lead to pride. It is a very expensive mistake to make, and even more when committing to a decision that impacts the lives of others and yours, while you're in a pretty temporal, emotional, and assumptive state. And moreover, these very expensive mistakes starts prioritizing comfort and predictability over growth, performance, and output. You don't want to optimize for a variable in your life that was not even bringing you closer to what you wanted, if you want to have a fulfilled life for others and yourself. And the second thing is that reality doesn't care about you. And I know it's harsh to say it because the thing is harsh. It won't rain burgers because you're hungry, no matter how depressed you feel. But this is the secret where freedom comes from, because you can choose how to react to it. If someone, for example, trips you up, you can choose to be calm, elegant, and emotionally intelligent, or become Mike Tyson 2.0. But the clouds won't cry along with you on either choice. So that's the end of this video. If this gave you something useful, subscribe because it makes me know you want more content like this. You can leave also in the comments below. I read them all and I love them. If you have some feedback and if you want to keep building on this, the next video breaks down systems and how to turn chaos into something you can actually work with. I will leave the video in the first link of the description, and I will also flag it if you just prefer it that way. I stand for your best because only that will matter. And take care.